How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Elves Junks Reviews. Today we're reviewing a Walthers Proto product. We are going to be looking at two 89-foot Thrall tri-level auto carriers. We have one in Chicago Northwestern, and we have another one in TTX. So we're going to be unboxing the Chicago Northwestern one here on camera. We'll unbox the TTX one later down the road. Anyway, we have this nice, lovely Walthers Proto gray box. And I'm just gonna pull it out, and as you can see, there's no plastic cover, which is a little annoying to me. I actually did not like that. The fact that Walthers decided not to do this, I do not know why they chose to not include a plastic cover on top. So I'm a little ticked off about that, but no matter. Here is our diagram here and a little bit of history on the car. We will go into that later. Here is our pop-up diagram. As you can see, a lot of parts here. And as you can see right there, technically it's 38 parts, but there's a very large amount of quantity. In fact, the largest is 10 panels. So we have a lot of stuff going on here. It's a bit difficult to get these guys out. You said there's an opening here, and we're just gonna push it out. And now it is free of its protective casing. There is bubble wrap at the bottom of there. But anyway, let us get into some history. Alrighty, so now time for a little bit of history, and our history comes from Walthers itself. Chances are your new car or truck took its first long trip aboard an enclosed auto carrier. In general, specific models of an auto or truck are built at one or two plants. Finished vehicles are shipped by rail to regional distribution centers and loaded on trucks for the final delivery to your local dealer. Railroads have played an important role in delivery of finished vehicles. In the early years, 40 or 50-foot boxcars were fitted with double doors to facilitate loading and unloading were used. Following World War II, most of this business was lost to the trucking industry, and by 1960, less than 10% of all new autos were shipped by rail. New applications for piggyback flats were developed in the early 60s, including the first open rack conversion for hauling autos. This made volume shipment possible, so that by 1969, over 50% of all new cars traveled by train. Although successful, the vehicles were exposed to weather and easy targets for vandalism and theft. To combat this, metal panels were installed between the braces and the racks. Later, a roof was added and end doors were installed. End-of-car cushioning, which absorbs the shock caused by coupling and slack action to reduce damage to the load, was also added. Today's Autoracks is usually two pieces of equipment. An 89-foot flat car owned by a leasing company, although there are some railroad-owned cars in service, and an Autorack owned by the railroad, as we see here, C&W, but the trailer train company. The flat carries the reporting marks and color scheme of the leaser, while the rack, with the exception of the panels and roof, which are usually left in their natural metal color, is painted and lettered for the railroad. And that's what we have here. So, let's get into some details, starting with the front/back. Alrighty, so now we're looking at the front or the back, whichever you prefer. They're pretty much the same on either side. But anyway, as you can see, even though this is a Walthers Proto product, and Walthers Proto is their top of the line, there's not a lot of detail going on here on the front, but then again, there's not a lot of detail going on the front of an Autorack door regardless. Starting at the top here, as we always do, you can see we have two grab irons, one on each door. We have excessive car height, no running board, and our number here, ETTX 802647. It was blurred because my hand was there. We have two sets of grab irons at the ends of each doors here, one here and one here. You can see this is molded in. That's really supposed to be, you should be able to look inside there. If you buy an Intermountain Autorack, you should be able to look inside there. And you see we have a lot of molded on like rivets or like bolts on the doors here. Moving down here, as you can see, here is our Walthers metal coupler. And there's no air brake or coupler cut bar or anything, actually, in fact, which is a bit of a disappointment, because if you may recall, when I reviewed a Scaled Trains Gunderson Autorack, that had a lot of detail down here. So I'm a little disappointed for Walthers Proto, because Walthers Proto is supposed to be good. It's pretty much the same on the other side. And And that's pretty much what it is. It's pretty much the same on the other side. Oh, and I forgot to mention, these are doors. These are door helpers. But we will get to that when we look in the side right now. Alrighty, so looking at the side of the auto rack here, you can see a ladder that works from the top of the, from the bottom of the car up to the top here. We have a lovely Chicago Northwestern System logo right here. This car exceed height. So basically these are oversized. They're basically like high cubes, in which they are a little taller than the average freight car. Anyways, you hear those metal panels. They are unfortunately made of plastic, unlike Scale Train's rivet counter. Scale Train's rivet counter is actual etched metal. If you get their operator, those are plastic, unfortunately. Here you can see some flat car detail, ETTX 802647. We have a capacity and load limit and load weight numbers. This was built new in April of 1975. You cannot tell what that says, unfortunately. For restricted loading, only see equipment register. And here's the original TT Trailer Train logo. And as you see, it says Trailer Train right there. Whoopsie daisies. And we have, I believe this, well, and there's the designation of this car. It's an L894. I do not exactly know what this right here, PLH21D, is. If anyone can please let me know, please do in the comments. And these are for the brake shoes. And there's some more information about this Autorack here. Now, a little thing, now I'm going to give you a rundown of basically how the doors open. Basically, the doors are unlocked, and they pretty much, the doors will flap open, and well, they don't flap open, but then they slide back into this crevice here, which is what these hinges are. These are the hinges for the door. The door is pulled back, and it slides open. And then you can see inside, and you can drive the cars. In fact, they drive the cars directly into them. That's how they load these. And it's a very economical way, because they can also line these, make massive lines of these auto racks and sidings, and they put these little, little platforms in between the cars, and they can just drive the cars through each auto rack until each auto rack is completely full. And it's a very, very fascinating process, and it's really fun to watch. Alrighty, so let's get into my final thoughts. So overall, these auto racks, they're pretty good. I have a few downsides to them. The biggest downside, in my opinion, is that they are lacking in weight. They are very light. But then again, most auto manufacturers have had this issue where the auto racks are just way too light, in my opinion. I feel like they should, because of their length and their size, they should be heavier. Now, they do recommend, if you really want to, you can put cars in there and add extra weight, but I really wouldn't recommend it because that takes a lot of effort. And my other issue is that there was no plastic cover over the foam. I wish that was there to keep the car a little safer, so I definitely would take marks down on that. If I was to give this thing a school-like rating, I'd probably give this a B+. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. Also subscribe if you have not. And hit the notification bell to know when I upload. I upload on Mondays and Fridays at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So tune in on those days. And thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.